from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Grand uprising, my people. Grand uprising. God's morning to everybody. Hope everybody is doing super fantabulously fantabulous. And continue to shade under the golden branches of the Creator's love and care. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Come what may, do not allow anybody to shift your internal kingdom. That's where true powers lie. True power lies within you. It's not how you react, it's how you respond. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Dallaford. My Dallaford people, good morning. What's going on, people? Good morning to all my siblings. Blessed morning. Blessed morning to all the people that are listening to me now. And for those of you who are listening to me the first time, this is Mr. Johnson, a.k.a. RJ, the founder of the Healthiest Corner on Earth, located at 92 East Drive in Champlain. I bring perspective, and also outcomes, results. So this is, let me give you a little context to what I'm talking about, all right? I'm a fitness expert and definitely a self-proclaimed herbalist practitioner. Got a lot of experience. And let me tell you something, more than 4 decades of experience in this. More than 40 decades of experience. So I know what I'm talking about. So this is my disclaimer. Mr. Johnson considers himself a very intelligent brother because he does not know everything. And for those of us out there who didn't know that we didn't know and still don't know that we don't know, that's going to be a problem. Because what that does is not able to think for yourself. And then educated people will bring you narrative, and I underline the word narrative, that those narratives are just believable. And they wouldn't do you one good other than harm. So think for yourself. I'm going to leave it right there for now. Once again, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to our fire department. Good morning to the Coast Guard. Good morning to our regiment. Good morning to the police department. And good morning to all the brothers and sisters on the road who are driving. Good morning to all the nation road. Please be careful out there. I have my peeve. I have my grievance. There's too much pothole. And then when my car get damaged, I could possibly get a ticket for that. I have a serious issue with that. But again, I'm going to leave that for now. Let me remind you guys again, my program is a health program, and I'm allowed to voice my little opinion. I'm not sure what's going on this morning, though, with that screen. Crystal, all right. Voice my opinion, and I will just tell you this again. Let me remind you guys, all of us are entitled to our own opinion, 100%. We're just not entitled to our own set of facts. So give me a chance to voice my opinion emphatically. See if Chris send me all right, Chris send me a thing there. Good morning, my brethren. Good morning, Scrappy. Good morning, Kuzo. What's going on, my brother? I know you locked on listening there somewhere. I'm going to try to send out the links so my people can listen. I can't multitask. Because if this is one thing, I'm just not very good at multitasking in that way. I pay attention to what I'm doing, and I give it 100% until I'm done. I move on to the other stuff. If I have to, if my life is in danger, the multitasking come natural. Right? You know what I mean. Process that for a little bit. So good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, once again. Blessings. So let me give my sibling and all my people out there. Good morning to Miss Gettins. How are you this morning, Miss Gettins? Hope you're doing fantabulously. Fantabulous. Good morning, Mrs. Spencer. Loving the house to you. Tanel, good morning to you. Blessed morning, Nicole. Good morning to everybody. Beverly in the UK, blessed morning to you. Good morning, Miss Aaron. Good morning to you. Hope all is well. Cynthia Aaron, keep standing tall. Jess McPhee, how you doing this morning? Scrappy, Wagwan, all my siblings, blessed morning, my Tobago people, blessings. Let me get into this. I want to do something. I want to ask you guys a question now. If you would have come to my place and the way my complex is, it's only medical student and internship, only those type of people that are inside of my building, right? It has roughly about 26 apartments in there. sorry about that, about 26 apartments. So let's suppose, I'm giving you context here, right? Let's suppose you come, you had an appointment, you come to see me, and when you come, you see me in because where my office and my place is like kind of between a corridor, right? Let's say as I open my electric gate or the middle gate, you walk inside, and when you come in, you saw a guy weighing about 130 pounds. Or let's say before I open the gate, you can see me through the electric gate where my car is usually parked on the inside. But let's say you look through there and you see me over a guy, and I'm hammering this guy with punches, and the guy's only weigh like about 120 pounds, right? That's all you see. I get up, I looked at you, I look at the guy. There are a lot of things going to go through your mind. But let's say when you come through the gate now, I took you in the back and I showed you a little 5-year-old girl who's bleeding to death because of what he did to her. If your initial perception didn't change, I don't know what else is going to change you. I'm going to rest that down for a little bit, and I want you to think about that for a little bit. Let's say you view a video, right? Because I'm not taking side here. I am just saying what we need to do sometimes is just watch a little bit. I ain't taking no sides. But let's say you view a video and you watch 3 guys walk up, and there's this old man laying on the street, and he has this cardboard box as his house, and these guys kick out the cardboard box, mash them down, and they pack them in a vehicle and they walk away. And the old man just there, and he's like, but that's all you see. You only see that part of the video. Let's suppose there was another part of the video where the guys came back with with some clothes and whatever. They picked him up and they take him to a place where he can now live properly. That's supposed to change your initial perception. All I am saying is this. Again, I'm not taking side. Our commissioner of police came out and he talked about the shootings and whatever and the whole stuff. I wasn't there. I wasn't there from the initial stuff, and God bless the people who lost their son and this daughter, who is going through all that is done to grieve everybody. I wish God, whatever your concept is with those people, and my condolences go out, because again, let me just punctuate here. Me nah take side. Let me give you Tobago colloquial language. Me nah take no side. Me not been dead. Right? I wasn't there. But what I'm saying is that bringing context and cross references, because we wasn't there, sometimes we just need to wait. As angry as we are, we just need to wait. Because let me tell you something. When I looked at the video, I get angry too. I get mad. But something make me pull back. Let me wait and see what comes out from this. I'm not picking up for anybody. I'm just saying we need to support the people who we put there to protect us. And I'm not telling you to their fault. I'm just saying, let's wait. Good morning, Mr. Guevara, and blessed morning to all the people out there within the sound of my voice this morning. We'll leave that right there for now. So I want to get into a little nitty-gritty of stuff this morning with reference to what I do. It's my Dharma and getting rid of chronic diseases and this stuff. Here, what I want you guys to think about. It's sort of climb into what I just said, right? Hear me out. If there was a bulletin that came out and they said all the water that we are drinking has some sort of poison in it that's going to kill us eventually, some slow poison from the water. Just saying, right? Listen good to what I'm saying here. But for somehow and some reason, they came up with a tablet. And they said, take this tablet, it will make you less thirsty. It will make you, which means you don't have to drink as much water. I want you to freeze this moment for a little bit. Just freeze it for a little bit. Hey, my boy Frame, good morning to you, man. How you doing, bro? Freeze that moment. All right. So you are less thirsty. Remember, it does not quench your thirst. It just makes you less thirsty, for lack of a better word. Is that in any way saving you from the poison that you are ingesting, or we were ingesting before? Oh, it just means we're living longer. We are not living longer, I mean. We are dying longer. That's what that means. Why I brought that up? Because I want to bring context again to what I'm saying. Because I realize the more I talk about diabetes, the more I realize people still don't get it. People still don't get it. So here it is. You go to your GP, based on blood test and all the stuff you would have been through, you were diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. They run, I'm not sure if they do a GTT test here, a glucose tolerance test, not sure. Truly, I'm not sure. But they run another blood test, included a A1C hemoglobin test. From our metric and perspective of our lab here, once you 6.4, you right on the borderline. If you 6.5, they consider you pre-diabetic. Whatever place you are in life, in terms of where that is concerned, I want you to bear this in mind, that diabetes is cellular dysregulation. Because I'm trying to get to everybody. Because the folks, and when I say I want to talk about this, the folks who come to me are folks who listen to me all the time. They hear me sometimes. And listening is a skill. This is not a disrespect to anyone. I just want to make things clear. And those who know me know I just say just like it is. I don't tell people what they want to hear. I give you the truth. I make you uncomfortable, because when we get uncomfortable in life, that's when we grow. You cannot be in growth mode and protection mode at the same time. Just understand that. And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to protect yourself, because if you don't, you become food for something else. Or you become food for the people who want to prey on you. That's not my point. My point is you cannot be in both. All right. So here it is. Here it is. You go to your GP because you have cellular dysregulation. Well, what causes cellular dysregulation? Crap food. Crap food and more crap food. And vegetable seed oils that have hexane in it and D-gummer. Hexane and D-gummer that has... Hexane is a non-neurotransmitter. How I should say, it inhibits the brain from functioning the way it ought to function. A neurotoxin, that's the word I was looking for. Hexane is a non-neurotoxin, and it is also carcinogenic. Let us be clear on this here. Then they use the gummer, then they use perfume. All those things that they use are carcinogenic. So we ingest all the stuff, and the ultra-processed food, the crap oil. So we go there for cellular dysregulation because our body not function the way it ought to. And just remember, I just want you to understand this. Your body make an adaptation so you can live. That's why you're at that point. That will usually take 10, 15, or even 20 years to develop. That's how much your body loves you and fight for you. But you ain't paying no attention. So here it is, we go there for eating crap food. I'm going to give you metformin, diamicron, glybride, glucophage, and the list goes on and on and on. But continue to eat crap food. Because we are so glucocentric, we only look at the rising of the blood sugar, which isn't your problem. I am not telling you the rising of your blood sugar isn't dangerous. I am not telling you when your car is overheating isn't dangerous. Your problem is what causing your car to overheat. Your blood sugar is what causing it to rise. But let me give you metformin. Let me give you some tablets that will make you less thirsty. and then you can go on and drink a modicum of water consistently. Well, that make a whole lot of sense to me. I'll process that for a little bit, because that's where we are. And I want to talk about it again because, like I said, I realize a lot of people still don't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, within the sound of my voice this morning, diabetes can be cured, because they don't like people to be on flat platform and use the word cure. They could dismantle you, they could deplatform you for using such a word. They wanted to use mine. Well, nobody is controlling me, because it's declassified. Go and look for it, it's declassified. Diabetes can be cured, go into remission, or you can totally get rid of it. Stop eating crap food. So let me remind you guys again. Just rest on what I said with the water, because that's exactly what is going on. I try to twist it all out so it can meet certain ear that did not understand and get the science and that I'm trying to the information that I'm trying to disseminate that is wrapped in the science. Every time we eat, our body releases glucose in the bloodstream. The innate intelligence of the human body, the innate intelligence is for this hormone called insulin that emerges from the beta cell, comes out intelligently. And I read a whole lot of peer-reviewed papers, blind placebo studies, meta-analysis, and I don't think anybody could give a reason how insulin knows when to emerge from the beta cell and come out and do this. I'm not sure anybody knows. Just the innate ability of your biochemistry, which is what was created perfect by the creator, whoever that is. So if you want that answer, call 1-800-GOD and find out how that has happened, because I still don't know. But here what I know: it emerges from the beta cell and it moves the glucose out of the blood and park them in the cell. Everything that we eat, that is what happens. It parks it in the cells. Okay? All right? When that happens, your glucose will spike and your insulin level will spike, because the insulin comes out. So it depends on the kind of food you eat, or how much of the type of food you eat will depend on how much insulin comes out, and it will also depend on how long the insulin stays up before it recedes. If your insulin drops after you eat, 90 minutes after you eat, you're probably in a good place. But here what happened: most of us, because of how much we eat in a fat state. We eat all this crap food, vegetable seed oil, ultra processed foods, and the list goes on and on and on and on. The insulin sometimes takes 2 hours to come down. Before it come down, we eat again. Before it come down, we eat again. And then eventually your poor biochemistry is getting sick and tired, because the insulin cannot work for you anymore. It just won't work. I want you to understand this. Now, during this process, you develop what you call metabolic disease. Well, when you have metabolic disease, there is a whole barrage of other pathologies that's going to take place in your body, because now your body not proper. Your biochemistry is not proper. It starts with high blood pressure. It starts with high homocysteine level. It starts with prostate. It starts with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It starts with endometriosis. It starts with fibroids. Boss, anything could go wrong. You're having neuropathy, nephropathy, and retinopathy, right? Neuropathy, your foot going and get chopped off eventually. Nephropathy, your kidney going and get to the point where you have to go on dialysis, which also can be cured or reversed once you do the right thing that you ought to do. That's no maybe but if no ands. Ain't no maybe but if no ands. If they don't understand that is a big business, or they better think again. So it meets to the point where the nephrons not working anymore. The kidney loaded with fat, it clog up. Right? Retinopathy is the eyes. A all the capillaries and also the retina in the back of the eyes, it becomes so soupy clogged, no blood can go through there. Now you go in and see cloudy, and you can't, and nothing ain't functioning in your body. Nothing ain't functioning in your body. It's called metabolic disease. Well, here what's going on. 93% of the whole world is like that. And then you have people who's at the top telling you, hey, it's genetics. It's genetics. This is what you inherit from your parents. Well, think again. One of my brethren was by me weekend. Frame, ex-soldier, my boy who I grew up with. And I talk about him all the time. I don't know what used to get into our heads, but we will wake up early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, as young as we were 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it probably go till 16 every morning, and we go and run. From anybody who know King Street in Dallaford, we will run from there to the lookout in Speyside. We go there, we drop, we do push-ups, we do whatever we need to do. We take off again, back down the road. It depends on if we have the time before we end up going to school. We're going straight to Roxborough and come back up non-stop. When he went into the military, when he went to the regiment down here, he went in charge. They couldn't even handle him. Probably Scrappy was the only man could have given him some pepper. But let's leave that there. But him and I was talking because there's a family in Dallaford. I wouldn't have called the name. And every single one of them died or are dealing with diabetes. Everyone. Now, that's a good position or case for the people at the top to say, you see, it's hereditary. Well, let me ask you this. If it's hereditary, why can't you emphatically, implicitly, with not a shadow of a doubt, tell me what the genes, the name of the genes that they inherit? That is all you got to tell me, because that's like me coming to you, and again, me love my nurses and my doctors, you know. I'm just saying that the game is being played in a particular way. You got to keep your eyes open and think for yourself. Okay, I love them. I'm talking about the people who invent all this to make money. Because everything we take in from them is petroleum based. That's why we ain't proper. That is why they could manage we. We eat petroleum based, you know, proper. And we ain't proper. But here's the deal. Here what happened to the family. And let me just explain this to you guys. You can remember, I tell you guys, if the guys who working outside on the ocean floor, who pull crude oil, could never bring crude oil and put it in none of the vehicles that we have running on the road today, because the vehicle doesn't know that sense of fuel. A conversion has to be had. And when that conversion is had, you have in diesel, you have in kerosene, 3 or 4 octane of gas, you have in car oil, and the list goes on and on. That is why we know what's going on, why certain people in the big world running in on people and housing them to take the oil. I will leave that for another time because I don't want to get into that. Or the higher eyes open. Because of the oil, and the oil. If that conversion is not being had, not Nagwan. Alright, so here is what. That is very analogous to the human body. Very analogous. Nothing that we put into our body, stay with me here, because I want you to understand what I'm saying here. Nothing that we put into our biochemistry goes in the same way we put it in. No. It's a conversion must be had. It's not the badgie is what the badgie become. It's not the piece of protein you eat is what the protein becomes. Hear what that family issue were and probably still is. Metallation problem. It's not a genetic problem. If it's a genetic problem, the entire human genome has been mapped. The entire human genome has been mapped. Let me get this clear. It has been mapped. All the scientists know this, and the people at our helm, who we go to at the health centers and whatever, knows this. MTHFR, COMT, CHRR, I could call them out. Leave that for another time too. But the genes has been mapped. So if I go there, you should tell me, instead of drilling me about what goes on in my family, how many people get there, because as far as I'm concerned, you are fishing for a reason to prime me with drugs. You are fishing for a reason to put the fear guard in me. So here's the deal. Here's what I'm saying to you now. If you can't tell me when I go there and you see the expression of my symptoms, what I exhibit, you're supposed to tell me without a shadow of a doubt, this is the gene you inherit from your parent. This is why you're in this particular position you are. And this is the chromosome it resides on. None of that can't happen. That's like if me going, well, you know what happened? I saw a lump in the bottom of your stomach. Well, but that is why I'm with you. That is why I come here. We know that already. What tell me that again for? Tell me what caused the lump. Because we're not going anywhere. But we buy the story, hook, line, and sinker, so we move on. This particular family, as I was telling him about that because I brought it up to him. And when Frame come, he spent about 2 or 2.5 hours with me. He was there with his wife. And I tell them, this is the problem. Because I myself, as a little boy, I used to wonder, well, where that was coming from. Until I start doing my research, doing all my studies, my reading, and I realized conversion. Nothing goes in. As I said, is what the badge becomes. Once you cannot make that conversion, your body would express itself chronically. It are no maybe, but if no ends about that, and if somebody out there has a problem with that, come and shift my narrative. That's all you got to do. I always tell you, I am not obsolete in my narrative. If you can shift me, more knowledge to me. But come, let us have a conversation about that. Let's go. I don't care who it is. Call me up and we won't have the conversation on the radio. Let's have it on the TV because there are a lot of people making negative thing out there. Or we don't want these herbalists. These herbalists don't know what they're doing and whatever. These politicians need to do something about these herbalists. And the list goes on and on and on. Well, let me go on TV now so that the public will see who we really need to get rid of. I want that debate so bad I can taste it. I want it bad. You see, people may say, well, what you saying that for? That comes like your whatever. Well, you could say whatever you want. Because here what? I don't have to prove anything to anybody. The results, proof, and evidence are right out there. When you look at my people, when they walk the road, every day, from a young woman, from a young girl from 9 years old who is actually menstruating from the age of 9, 10, and 11, the evidence are there. To the men who have extended stomach, the evidence are there. To the amount of people that in our so-called management center every day, because I don't know health center, in our management center every day, that's the proof out there, because I got none to prove. So if you have a problem with that, come, let's have a debate. No problem. Again, let me put up my disclaimer. I consider myself an intelligent man because I know I do not know everything. We can have that debate. But the point I'm making is, when this family die out, again, you can prove, and Paulus Linus say this, Max Planck has that too. Max Planck was maker, and there's all the evidence to show, look, you can, if the body is properly alkaline and properly balanced, nothing can survive in there for any long period of time either. Because when the Creator created us, it created us with alkalinic properties in our blood, 1 to 14, 7 being neutral, 7.45 or 7.52, around there is where our blood's supposed to be. Once it starts to go down to the minus, it's like we start into our problems. And this is what happened. That's why it's called a cellular dysregulation. It's cellular dysregulation when we have all these problems running up in doctor, like if it's a like what we're doing, like if it's a fashion show, like we have to sick. And if you can't refine those raw materials, you have problems. Plenty problems. Plenty problems. And I want to just say this from the bottom of my heart. I do not want to upset anybody. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. I am just giving you the way it is. I ain't put nothing in my water in my mouth to tell nobody anything. I am just letting you know that just now I'm trying to do this to send the link to my folks. And I just can't do it while I'm while I'm talking to you guys. But anyway, this is a problem, yes. Ay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Seema. Good morning. My brethren, Oscar B, good morning to you, man. What's going on, brother? And Marlon, blessed morning to you. Love in the house, love in the house, love in the house. Seema, hope you're doing great. All right, so I sent it for a few people. I'm not able to send it to all the people that I would like to at this particular junction. But let me just say this though, because of that, like let me just go back to Paul Linus Pauling. Linus Pauling also said you can link every human death to a deficiency of some sort of mineral / disease. That is the truth, because many of us do not believe that that's what will cure us. We don't believe the botanical herbs that are in line with us, that are in line with our biochemistry, that are in line with our ancestral genome. We don't believe that that can help us. Every healing is right there in some bush somewhere right in your yard. You know what is Mamusa pudica? I know plenty of people doesn't even know what Mamusa pudica is. You know what is mammoth? It loaded with antimicrobial. There's all kind of property in Mamusa pudica. Well, let me tell you what it is. I think in Trinidad they call it turmeric. In Bago we call it shame charlotte. That little fine leaf that you touch and it close up. If all you know the power in that. Because I used to use, I had a brethren had this beautiful hydrate. It used to hydrate without getting anything out from the leaves. And I used to have Mamusa pudica like that. And put it in vegetable capsule. But I couldn't keep enough from Mamusa pudica, the kind of results it used to get. So I'm gonna go back to having that. There's something would have happened to the dehydration machine, and it kind of stopped me from doing that. But in 2021, 22, I used to pump that out like crazy. Mamusa pudica is boss. But what I'm saying to you now is, are we going to put drugs in front of botanical herb and eating properly? The question is an unequivocal yes. That's what we do all the time. That's why the entire world is 93% metabolically ill. 100% are we not listen. Something is wrong with the equation of our minds in terms of how easily we already programmed. All of us are programmed. I am all a program, but I'm aware. I have an awakening, and I always had a problem with certain things ever since I was in school. The guys who grew up with me know this. It's the reason I never smoke in my life. Because nobody can convince me. I always believe if I smoke weed or any one of them things and wherever, marijuana, I always feel it will kill me, because I don't feel that my brain could have handled anything like that. My brethren and them know me, but I used to think for myself. And I always had a problem with how I see the world. My brains was always like that. I could never follow the crowd. Never, ever, ever. I can't follow the crowd. That's why, let me remind people, that is why I accept radical responsibility for anything I do. Nobody can make me do nothing. I do it. Good, let me move on and go on with my life. Because the things that you do in your life, the mistakes you make, I call them life lessons. But those things does not define you. You define you. You define you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying to you now, what I do is, honestly, I do the best I can. Did somebody just try to call me? All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I do is the best I can in terms of chronic diseases, and I give you the botanical herbs that will help you in that regards. First of all, I have a sheet that I make up. I have it in hard copy, and I have it on WhatsApp that I can send for you. You stay away from those foods. Remember the analogy of the water, because if you remember that, I think it might get home. As I woke up this morning, I said, how can I talk about this again in a different way so that people can understand what is going on, how people can understand. The other thing I want to talk about again this morning is anxiety. Again, a lot of anxiety, which leads to chronic depression and all that stuff there. Do you guys understand that imbalance, that chemical imbalance is a hormonal imbalance? Well, and that is also diet? Well, let me just explain something to you. The people who suffering with anxiety, they suffer with something what you call COMT. And a lot of women suffer with that. And here are some of the symptoms. The symptoms are they try to control everything on the outside of them. everything. They think about the most innocuous thing. I'm not saying man don't suffer with it, because plenty men I know suffer with that too. But more so the people who I deal with on a daily basis are women. And they deal with this particular control issue. They try to control everything outside. They think about the most innocuous thing. Their mind races. It's never turn on. It never turn off, sorry. And then when you go to your GP, what it gives you, which is allopathic reductionistic medicine. Think about our word. Allopathic reductionistic medicine. It's reductionism. Think about it. Look it up. Study it. See what it means. Don't get emotional. Let's look at facts. Put emotions aside for a little while. Choke out your ego and let your ego sit down in a corner and try to think with an open mind and stop being myopic, all right? That is not pointing figure. That is making a statement. Right. They try to control everything on your side again and think about the most innocuous thing, and the mind races. So what happens is that when you go to your doctor, they will most likely put you on SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Let me repeat that again. They will put you on SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Well, what that will do is that the nervous system, when your mind races and it can turn off, that will actually bring your nervous system to match the pace of your mind, and you think you get some ease. Well, that one never going on ease, and that what you take in there will never ever kick in, ever in life, never kick in. Nothing now gonna work. So that's another illusion of inclusion. It's not going to work. And that's sort of psychological boomerang in your mind being managed by drugs. That could never be right. And that could never feel right anyway. So here was the deal. I'm telling you, your problem is a lack of serotonin. And serotonin comes from your gut. Serotonin, if you have enough of serotonin, it controls that. So the disease is what you call COMT, C-O-M-T, COMT. That's the abbreviation. The acronym is catechol-O-metal-transferase. So when you go through that, this protein cowers into your bloodstream, and how you're going off. And here's more symptoms. Your head pound like if I don't know how to put it. You're hearing your heart pounding through your head, your chest get tight, you start breathing erratically, and these panic attacks. That is catechol. That is the protein, catechol-O-metal-transferase. These catecholamines are inside of your blood, and they're in the same family as adrenaline and ephedrine. They're in there walking stuff and have your body out of whack. Come by Mr. Johnson. And when you finish with Mr. Johnson, I am sure, I wish some of the people I had could call in now. I really, really wish. When you come, I will take you through that journey. You come off certain foods, and you take these botanical herbs, and I will help you go through that. And I do my botanical herb synergistically. There are herbs you take morning, and there are herbs you take evening. It works synergistically. It works with your circadian rhythm and outside your circadian rhythm. And that's just no maybe, but if no ends. Again, that's another way. Another thing I want to talk about before I go is people who have high blood pressure. All right? You're having high blood pressure. A lot of times, when you're having high blood pressure, it's because you have a high homocysteine level. A lot of us have this amino acid in our body called homocysteine. All of us have it. Every human being have homocysteine. But when homocysteine gets too high, when it gets too high, that means it's inflammatory. And it irritates the endothelial lining inside of your blood vessel, inside of the capillaries. It irritates that. And again, let me remind you guys, if you take all the blood vessels in our body and join them together, they go to 63,000 miles, which is going which could go around the entire world 1.5 times. Well, if that is it, when one of those pipes clamp down, you got have problems. You would have problem. And this is it. So when homocysteine level get high, it is very irritating, and when it cruises by inside of the bloodstream, them capillaries start boiling. Oh, hey, yeah, homocysteine level here, we had a duck. And they clamp down, and your blood pressure goes straight through the roof. You could take what you want. They would put you on high blood pressure. You could take what you want, 2, 3, 4 blood pressure medication, nothing ain't going to happen. Nothing going to happen. And that becomes dangerous because if your blood pressure stays too long, you're going to have problems. But let me tell you something again. This should bring some pacificity to some of you guys, your mind out there. Let us talk about blood pressure for a little bit and a number, because a lot of it was made up. Again, I would like a debate with this, so come and let's have a discussion. Blood pressure. Your blood pressure is supposed to be 110 plus half your age. If the bottom one, which is the diastolic, go over 100, you have problems. And if it stays too long. So a lot of times you may want to do what you call a GFR, a glomerular filtration rate, to see how fast and how nicely your kidneys filtering poison from out of the body, right? And there's something called arterial peripheral disease. The kidney get clogged up. The nephrons aren't working properly. They can't operate in the way they ought to operate, because many of you guys are on medication and you were told to stay away from salt. Well, tell the ambulance that when they come, when you're half dead and they're giving you saline, before they check your entire medical history, they hook you up on a bag of saline, which is 9,000 milligrams of salt. Tell them that. No, you guys know the truth. The people at the helm know the truth. So anybody who tells you to stay away from salt, you need to take off like a jet psalm. Baja Gold sea salt, Celtic sea salt, and Himalayan pink salt. And let us cut the nonsense out right now, because salt vasodilates. Without a lack of salt in the body, you're cramping up and chances are you could die. Let us have those debates, because you see all this kind of stuff here. But let me just say something. You see, when a company has a lot of investors, the interest is in making their money. And however they make that money, they're going to make that money. If that sustenance of making that money hinges on your ignorance, that's what it will be, because that's what happens. Engineered ignorance, programming. We don't know that we don't know, we didn't know that we didn't know, we still don't know that we don't know, and he who knows not and knows not that he knows not will get the punishment of those things. You know what it'll tell you in a court of law? Ignorance is not an excuse to break the law. I think a lot of people feel that way with things you put into your biochemistry, but you need to understand you don't have to go down that road. You really need to understand that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnson offer a free consultation. Remember again, I don't know everything, but let me just go back and tell you this again. You see, for those people who truly believe in the pharmaceutical industry, not our nurses and doctors, because they're doing the best they can, the best they know how. For those of you who truly believe in that, I want you to process this for a little bit and think about this long and hard. Tell me what vitamins are in any one of those drugs. When the lion's share of essential nutrients for the human body is minerals, which is 2/3 of the human body, vitamin or sustenance to maintain proper health and proper structure the way God and nature intended it to be. You tell me. That is 2/3, which is 66%. Because without the minerals, nothing can be transported. Nothing can be metallized and intertwined together. It's not going to happen. All right? 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 or 3 essential fatty acids. Right? When we organize ourselves in that particular perspective, this is what's going to happen. Let me remind you guys again, for those of you who try to get up quick from your seat and you get dizzy and you want to fall down, sometimes you feel you could cold sweat stuff, you have to sit down on that chair, you have something called POTS. P-O-T-S, abbreviation. Acronym, osteostatic, listen good what I'm saying, POTS. POTS, listen good. Posterior osteostatic tachycardia syndrome. Posterior osteostatic tachycardia syndrome. Look it up. Mr. Johnson will help you with all that too. Help you with all that. And then you go somewhere and they figured, well, this is what they are to do. If the majority of your foods that you put in your biochemistry is not whole foods and botanical herbs, you're wasting your time. And the people who tell you to stay away from botanical herb, you should put a GPS on them and see what they use. But you see, at the end of the day, the mortgage, the kids that are outside, the big car they have to pay for, is predicated on you coming back. Let that one day land. Because no matter what happened, you all believe you could sit implicitly in your mortality because you're part of that prison bar you continue to complain with. I'm doing my best. You may not like me. You may not like the song, and I'm not here for likes. Let's get that straight. I'm not here for likes. Because this radio program, I am paying for it. And any platform I go for, I pay for it. Because I want to help my people. This is my passion. This is my dharma. I want to help my people. But let me show you this. Let me preface what I just said. I don't charge 1 single cent for a consultation. You come by me, you get an hour to 1 hour and 15 minutes. Sometimes it goes beyond that because some people come with their family. You can get up from there and you can go away with that information. And I would live another day to do another one. I would live another day to do another one. So don't look at this and think, well, oh, well, he this and he that. I mean, you are allowed to say and do that if you want. But you see, before you do that, go internally. Before you make outlandish comments, go internally. Because the problem is not me, it's you. The problem is not the information you're getting. The problem is that it distorts your belief system and programming that you got for so long, which ain't working for you, but it's comfortable. So because it's comfortable, it's familiar. And because it's familiar, I'm going to stay there. No matter if it kills me, I will stay there. Want me to give you another idea? Well, a lot of people are suffering right now, with what happened with us the last 4.5 years. A lot of people. Because the fear God was put into us, that this is good for us. We're suffering. When you come by me, I need to know that. If you took that jab, I need to know. But hear what? Because there are things that you can do. It a nanokinase, it a licorice root, it a bromelain. There are things that could clean that out. But it has to be done synergistically. And many people still, to this day, defend that. In spite of what they're feeling. Now that is what I call true programming and engineered ignorance. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. If you think that the people out there that are making metformin, diamicron, and all the stuff that is in that particular, so if you think they will have a boardroom meeting on how they can cure diabetes, you dangerously lack a viewpoint of knowledge. Because people like me shift and dismantle the fact that they're making $160 billion a year industry. Who am I to go and shift that? They're going to make me uncomfortable. And people like myself, they're going to make us very uncomfortable. I'm telling you right now, guys, take care of yourself and each other. My time on the air is almost up. 736-3962. Call that one day, 736-3962. 736-3962 or 709-8450. 709-8450. A free consultation await you. I feel, and then we'll take it from there. 7 in the morning till 5. If I have to, I work 7 days a week. And if I have to make overtures to facilitate, depending on where you're coming from, I'll happily do that. Because nothing makes me happier than to bring some sense of meaning and purpose to somebody who was in a wheelchair and eventually they start walking again. Because it happens. It happened before. I got people who can testify for that. All you need to do, our problem is nutrition. That's our problem. Nutrify the body and your immune system will go to war for you. Believe that. If you don't believe it, frog smoke your pipe. Once again, to everybody, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson. In this life, we all need each other to be each other. Without each other, we are simply not each other. Am I my brothers and sister keeper? Sure I am. But let me just tell you this. Ain't nobody coming to save you from you. So take care of you before you can take care of anyone else. In the meanwhile, and in between time, until next week, my brothers and sisters, this is Mr. Johnson, aka RJ, McGann, out of here.
The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Champlain, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Get ready to immerse yourself in the vibrant rhythms and enjoy a spirit of sweet calypso. Join us for an unforgettable experience at the semi-final round of the Calypso Monarch competition. This is Calypso Fiesta. 40 Calypso stars will compete on the Skinner Park stage. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmonies. Mark your calendars. Saturday, February 7th, 2026. Join us at Skinner Park in San Fernando for an afternoon of pure Calypso magic. Showtime 2 p.m. Tickets available on islandetickets.com or call us at 623-9660. Don't miss out on a chance to experience the rhythm and joy of the Caribbean in 2026. Calypso Unleashed, boundless harmony. This is Calypso Fiesta.
This carnival season, come hungry and leave in love. Welcome to Flavor, a carnival culinary experience like no other. Every evening, the Queen's Park Savannah transforms into a vibrant village of food, culture, and celebration. Taste the best of Trinidad and Tobago with local street food, gourmet chefs, live cooking demos, cultural performances, and family-friendly experiences, all in one place. Join us at Flavor Village, Queen's Park Savannah, every day from 4 p.m. TNT, you're gonna love this.
How you just turn on this time machine, boy?
Bro, we have to...
Yes, I know, we have to go, but I have to start it.
On Sunday, February 1st, 2026, Captain Starbright and Tintin are going to take your kids on a magical journey to the past, present, and future of Carnival, the greatest show on earth. Get ready for Kids Carnival Kingdom. Back to the future.
Yeah, but how we going if this time machine not working, boy?
Bro, you're putting me smolter. It's powered by smolter.
Oh, it's powered by smolter. All right, put it. All right, let's go.
Kids Carnival Kingdom, back to the future. Sunday, February 1st, Skinner Park, San Fernando. Rides, slides, games, soca stars, and more. Parents, watch them learn about their culture and save the future of Carnival. Early bird tickets available online at islandetickets.com or timetolime.com and in store at advertised outlets. Kids Carnival Kingdom. Call 337-KIDS for more information. Kids Carnival Kingdom, back to the future.
On Carnival Thursday night, the country descends upon the Queen's Park Savannah for the biggest concert in Carnival.
I feel for woman and woman and woman and rum and woman and woman and rum and woman and woman and woman and
Vibes with Boise X.
I got the innocent. When I jump in with the I got the innocent.
This year we say cheers to 10. 10 years of dreaming, 10 years of growth, 10 years of voice. Vibes with Boise X. The biggest names in soca will be a part of this special celebration. 10 years of Voice's life and career. Physical tickets at GT's West Mall entrance City Mall, 5th Street Bar, Ariapita Avenue, 519 Restaurant C3 Center, Woodford Cafe Chagonis, Fairways Tobago, and online at frontlineticketing.com. Sponsored by Digicel, The Security Zone, Guardian Media Limited, Stag, A Man's Beer, Hennessy, Coca-Cola, Royal Castle, Dasani, Monster Energy Drink. Vibes with Boise X.
Join me on Carnival Thursday.
Queen's Park Savannah.
It's in we
Breakaway. 1, 2, 3, go. It's a bigger prize and the money nice in the play with breakaway. We betting hard and we betting hard in the play with breakaway. It's bacchanal in the play with breakaway. Win up to 30 to 1 on the base, 130 to 1 with the Juve ball, 135 to 1 with the steel pan ball, and 150 to 1 with the soccer ball. Wager on at least one mega mix option for a chance to must be 18 years and over. Please play responsibly.
The Lion Brand always had a plan, giving great taste all across the land. Pelori Friday, roti and double stew, made with great taste just for me and you. All through the year and all season, the Lion Brand is the reason. When the Lion Brand in the kitchen, we know to mix and move, we're gonna mix and move.
This carnival season, mix and